So we're going to do frequency. We're going to talk about frequency and the importance of frequency, sound frequency. And they're telling me to tell you that if you have an alarm, a fire alarm in your house, I see a lot of people doing that. I'm shocked at how often this happens. But people will have a faulty battery in their fire alarm in their house, and it will constantly beep, beep, all bloody day long. An animal that is in frequency, in stride, like my dog, she's my Zen doggy. She'll start crying when she hears it when I'm on the phone with someone else, when I'm doing a reading. She'll literally fucking try to hide. So you don't want that frequency constantly happening in your house, okay? Get a bloody battery or do whatever the hell you need to do, but get the battery going so that it's not making that beeping sound. Frequency is key. It's everything. Frequency can actually heal or destroy. I'll give you an example. You've heard of opera singers who sing in a high pitch, right? And they break the glass, right? They break the wine glass. I'm sure you've seen that in action. You've heard of it. So frequency is everything. Right now we're dealing with 5G. And here we go again with watching whales being beaching themselves. And people are weird in that they honestly don't understand frequency. So the frequency that you do not want to listen to, which is sadly all popular music. I mean, I have singers I adore, like Dead Can Dance, Natasha Atlas, wonderful singers that unfortunately are using 440 as opposed to 432. Deva Pramal, who's a very famous kirtan singer, uses 432. That's she'll do Gayatri mantra with 432 hertz. You can check it out. 8 hours moving on. So the spiritual journey, my friends, is not a one-sided coin. It is a fractal, multi-dimensional journey. Because, my friends, you are light beings and you are multi-dimensional light beings. It is not one thing. It is everything. It encompasses everything in your environment. That's one of the reasons why I'm moving. Because my environment was was never a win-win for my needs as a soul being. And so nature, of course, is one of the closest things that can heal you damn near immediately. And I'm going to share this live with certain people. Please share. Hey, Kim, it's good to see you. Feel free to share this live with people because we're going to talk about frequency. We're going to do oracle readings. We're going to do all kinds of fun things. It's Sunday. It's a happy day. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for your generosity. I appreciate the roses. I adore roses. I'm looking to actually, honestly, I'm going to be buying David Austin roses, my favorite roses, which are, it's not like I'm made out of money, just to be sure, just to be plain. But I will buy roses because I want to plant edible roses and plant food. I want to plant lots of food. And so even the frequency of how you talk to your plants will affect the quality of the plants. The frequency of how you speak to water affects the quality of the water. It is, like for example, I have a cup of tea. So I'm going to do this right now in front of you. I'm going to talk to my water, my tea, right? Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shanti 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 over my water. I'm going to put my cup of tea up against my heart chakra. It's all nice and warm. And I'm going to infuse it with light. Dr. Emoto, a Japanese scientist, talked about how our frequency of sound can affect water. And this is why, when you chant a mantra for abundance or health or friendship or spiritual enlightenment, or you're downloading, you're asking your light team to upgrade you with light codes through your crown chakra, it is good to do it in the shower or in nature, either or, okay? And it's very important to realize that it is the frequency of your intention that is going to manifest. It is a feeling energy that manifests. It is not an affirmation. An affirmation while you're depressed will do fucking nothing. You just neutralize everything. It makes no difference. But an affirmation or a mantra done with the frequency of love, of excitement, of gratitude, that will bring you this incredible energy towards you of abundance. And that's something I really want you guys to realize. I was watching Billy Carson about how to manifest. And I have to tell you that much of what he was doing, I've done. So I did buy a farm. And I'm sharing that with you because it was an impossible situation that became possible due to faith, surrender, and so forth, and manifesting. So you can do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. And if the universe says no, then it's because it's not for you. It's not right for you. Okay? It's not, you're not being punished. If it's a no, say thank you. Be polite about it. No, not, oh my God, this manifestation shit doesn't work. Be polite. Thank the universe and say, I know that you know best. I know that you are bringing me to a better, higher place of abundance, of health, of love, of wealth. So that's going to be really important. I'm waiting for more people to get on. Maybe it's a little early. Let me see. And if you want to share the life, because I'm going to do some oracle reading. One of the oracle decks is by Alana Fairchild. She's my favorite oracle writer, my favorite in the whole planet. In my opinion, is more robust than Kyle Gray, though I like him, but I love her. And we're going to be pulling out probably a couple cards from Lightworker Oracle, Lightworker, because many of you are light workers. And then if this is something that you want to share with people that you care about and you think are in the spiritual community that are of that level of consciousness, then, meaning they're politically aware, they're spiritually aware, they're going through the ascension, and life is good. And I'm sorry for the planes, but I'm going to be moving to my farm next week, so I'll be good. So we'll be hearing a lot of birds and beautiful nature sounds, not this. Any questions? Any questions at all on this journey so far? Okay, because usually it's interactive. I have you guys pick the top, bottom, or middle when I shuffle. So I'm going to start with healing waters, because healing with water is not a joke. It is really important. The Russians used to, I believe it was in the 60s and 70s. Oh, thank you, Kim. I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. And the Russians used to have they had a series of pregnant women from the minute of conception to the very birth. They would have women swimming with dolphins in pools. And they found that these babies were 20 to 30% higher in IQ. Russians were they might have banned religion when it was under the Iron Curtain, but they were amazing at the occult. They really, really studied all kinds of wild things. Like, for example, I remember reading, I wish I knew where the hell I read these books. I was reading this shit in the late 70s and early 80s. I was a teenage girl, and I was reading all these books. I was like a voracious reader. Anyway, there was this particular study done where they would weigh people who were passing away, dying. And they were weighing them by milligrams to see, and also they had developed cameras to see if they could see the soul leaving the body. Just amazing things that they were doing. Just amazing things. They might have been under a system that you might call oppression, but they were seriously, what is it called? Curious. Massively scientifically curious about spirit, what makes us tick, what makes us souls, what makes us work, why we are who we are, the difference between the mind and the spirit. I'm sure there was a lot of influence from the Tibetans, to be quite blunt. I wouldn't be surprised, because you have to look at the Tibetans, who for 1,000 years were not a warring people. They were a peaceful people. Did they have jails? Yeah, they did. They had jails, because there's always a rotten apple. There's always something going to go wrong in human when humans get together. You can't control everyone, and you don't want to control everyone. But for 1,000 years, They were not a warring people. They were a peaceful people who prayed to the Buddha and the others. So I think we have enough, more or less. Let me go ahead and shuffle the cards. And I want you to give your angels, guides, and allies permission to guide you while you're with me. And when you're ready, I'm shuffling the cards. Pick from the top, bottom, or middle. This is from the Healing Water Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. She had the Starseed Oracle that came out right on the heels of my husband dying. And when my husband passed for almost, I'd say 15 days, I would throw the Starseed Oracle deck to see where he was in his journey. I journaled it to see what his journey was like, where he was at in his transitioning out of the body into other realms. And it was super powerful and super uncanny. So I do use Oracle decks. I did it for my mom when she was in hospice. Oracle decks are very powerful. They don't mess around. So when you're ready, pick from the top, bottom, or middle. Top, bottom, or middle. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that. Top, bottom, or middle. Just pick. Just you guys pick and write it down. Tell me. And the people that have more of a choice than the others is what I'll pick. Okay, so top. Okay, great. Anybody else? Top. Okay. I'm going to go with top. The Isle of Avalon, Holy God, healing, returning to wholeness, transformation. Now, do you know what Avalon is? I hope you do. I want you guys to see the movie Mist of Avalon. Hopefully you'll find it. It's called The Mist of Avalon. And Avalon is Glastonbury. It's Glastonbury in the UK, in the United Kingdom. So let me look up Isle of Avalon, and I'm going to read to you its content. And there's no numbers to these oracle cards. Sorry about these noises, but what can I do? I'm in the terrace right now trying to get some fresh air. Isle of Avalon. Let me look this up. Isle of Avalon. Oh, bloody hell. That's the one thing I don't like about her cards. Here we go. 94. So 4 is taking on karma, just so you know. 9 plus 4 is 13. And 13 is death, regeneration. So yeah, healing, returning to wholeness, transformation. Let me read you what it says. Legend says that Avalon was the island where Britain's mythical King Arthur was taken after being fatally wounded in his final battle. First mentioned in Geoffrey of Monmouth's fictional The History of the King of Britain, 1136, Avalon is said to have been ruled by the powerful enchantress Morgan Le Fay and her 8 sisters, though by many to be high priestesses, who were highly renowned for their tremendous healing abilities. Some believed that the Isle of Avalon, which is also known as the Isle of Apples and the Isle of the Dead, is a mythical place of healing that exists beyond the veil. Others say that it exists in the physical. Avalon and its healing spring waters have been identified as Glastonbury in Somerset, southwest England, and even today pilgrims travel to the town. It's believed that this sacred place of healing was once surrounded by water and could only be reached by boat. This is a card of healing and an invitation to see that your healing is an opportunity for great transformation, that perhaps the parts of you that feel as though they're dying are actually being born anew. Did you hear that? I'm going to say it again. That perhaps the parts of you that feel as if they're dying are actually being born anew. Maybe this healing journey is taking you somewhere truly glorious, somewhere sacred deep within. Healing waters activation. I surrender to my healing. I activate the sacred intelligence within the waters of my body. I call in all the support that's most helpful. I believe in my ability to transform and heal. So check out, this is your message. Check out the movie Mist of Avalon. Mist of Avalon. I really want you guys to check it out. It's one of my absolutely favorite mystical movies. And I used to own it, and I used to watch it. I don't know. I was just transported into time. It is such a fucking massive, incredible movie. It's the story of this high priestess who, I don't know if you know the story of King Arthur and Morgan, his half-sister. But they wrote it in such a way that was very misogynistic and very much about her being a manipulative witch and, that kind of deal. Kind of like how you see her in the movie Excalibur. But this is told through her eyes. And she was a victim, not knowing King Arthur was her half-brother, until it was too late and she was pregnant. Okay, so watch Mists of Avalon, the movie. I want to do another oracle reading for you guys. This is called Lightworker Oracle by Elana Fairchild. I think I own damn near, I think I probably have one deck I don't own from her. It's probably the one from Mary Magdalena. Only because I don't really like the art. It doesn't speak to me, so I didn't get it. But I think that once I settle, I'll get it. And I'll have every deck she has because they're so robust. So this is a beautiful card for you guys. Many of you are light workers. In fact, all of you here, 12 of you, the 12 apostles, no joke, huh? Are here. And I want you to do the same thing. Close your eyes. Ask for the collective message of you 12 beautiful sentient beings. And when you're ready, pick top, bottom, or middle. Top, bottom, or middle. When you're ready. Okay, ready? Middle. Okay. Hey, Poodle Pup. I didn't get your message, by the way, just letting you know. So go to my website, okay? TonyBarca.com. Then we can talk. Anybody else? I got one middle. I need a majority to pick. So middle. Anyone else? I've stopped shuffling. The minute somebody picks, I stop shuffling. No one else? Okay. Middle it is. Okay. So I'm going to be very blunt with you. I pulled two cards inadvertently. And so I'm going to read them. I go with that. I just, it's like, okay, two cards. You got it. You got it, Source. We got it. So, yeah, in a minute, I'll send you my website and just go there and make sure you have a WhatsApp. So the first one that I saw that popped out was Second Ray of Wisdom. It's number 2. And number 2, ironically enough, I hope you guys know that, but in tarot, number 2 is the High Priestess. In Kabbalah numerology, it's the moon, which means secrets, and it could be confusing unless you surrender to what is. Okay, let's begin. I'm going to read that to you, and then I'll read the second, okay? Second Ray of Wisdom. The second ray of wisdom is a consciousness of loving wisdom straight from the heart of the universe. It amplifies the magnetic power of attraction, empowering you to pull in to your life all that is needed for your life's work. It brings the opportunity to heal, restore, and understand through the power of love and the light of ancient wisdom. Ancient wisdom, my dears. Ancient. This is not New Age. Okay? Let's throw that word created by Blavatsky and her little troops of weirdos, no offense, and let's call it ancient wisdom. It is not New Age. It is ancient wisdom. I love that. Okay. It brings the opportunity to heal, restore, and understand through the power of love and the light of ancient wisdom. The spiritual master known as the Buddha is with you now to help you fully receive and integrate the blessing of this ray of light from the universe. The second ray of wisdom is the energy of the open and loving heart of the universe. It is inclusive, drawing all things towards it with an invisible magnetism. It is attract into your life the people, opportunities, and teachings that will help you succeed in your life mission. This ray will help you focus your consciousness in your heart. It will bring to consciousness any unresolved matters of the heart for the healing. This includes not only issues of relationships, but also any issues around trusting your heart to lead it. Do you get this? Hang on, let's go back. Let's go back. But also any issues surrounding trusting your heart to lead you. This ray will help heal your heart in an affirming and nurturing way. See, there's an old saying, never trust your heart. You got to be logical. Let me ask you something. If you develop heart coherence, do you truly believe your heart will lead you astray? You truly, in your heart of hearts, believe that your heart will lead you astray. By the way, on the side note of this, before I continue reading this, did you know the heart has the same cells as the brain? it has a memory, and I could actually tell you certain things about it if you want, but I don't want to go off course. I'll tell you in a minute. Hang on. Let me finish this. The challenge with this ray, given that it is so magnetic and attractive, is learning to discern and say no when you need to. Imagine a fisherman who casts a very wide net and catches most of the ocean in it. Not everything is useful or even desired by the fisherman. While some things are gratefully accepted by the fisherman, other things are best returned to the ocean where they belong. Being able to trust in future abundance is important. You will not need to hold on to every opportunity, person, or situation out of fear of loss or lack. Instead, you are learning to live in true abundance and flow. Practice feeling comfortable and letting go, as well as receiving. And this is important, okay? This is important because a lot of people feel like if they let go of their twin, there's a point where you, and I'm not saying that's your story, because your story could be that, yes, you will be in permanent union. It could be your story. But for those of you where it might not be that story, you have to let go. You can't have your hands full and receive new things. That's not how it works. And so you have to trust the universe that something better here is coming. Okay, so let me continue here. Trust that the universe is all that you want and need in unlimited supply. The universe will truly provide for you, dear child of light. This is a very different way of thinking to how most humans are conditioned from an early age, but it's never too late to change one's mind and opens one's heart to a more loving, abundant, and enjoyable way to live. When the Buddha comes into your world, he brings the gift of wisdom that includes openness to all that is without judgment. This might be the struggle that will eventually be revealed as a blessing in disguise. It might be the challenge that causes you to grow into readiness for the next phase of your divine life missions. Finally, as the second ray of wisdom relates particularly to teachers and education, you are encouraged to trust that you have a message to share that is helpful and educational for others. Whether your involvement in education and teaching is former or less obvious, you are encouraged to honor the energy of the teacher in your life. In some way, your sole purpose likely involves helping others to learn through wisdom and love. Wow, right on the mark. So the second card, and again, for those of you who are just tuning in, I will do this again. I mean, this will be uploaded to my YouTube page and you can look for my YouTube page by just typing in Sacred Intimacy Tarot, or you can go my profile page on my Linktree and the YouTube page is linked. Okay, the second card I pulled is 44. Listen to this. Seventh ray of ritual, order and ceremony. 44. Seventh ray of ritual, order and ceremony. So let's read what that is. This isn't, and it looks like a very intense card. Bear with me. Let me look for the card. It's actually I think it's the last bloody card. Yes, it is. Okay, so let me begin. Okay, close your eyes and listen with your body. Okay, listen with your ears, your body, your cell. Close your eyes. When the gift of the seven ray enters your life, something new is being formed, something that will benefit your world. There may be an increased interest in magic, ceremony, and ritual for healing purposes, resonating with high-frequency violet light and the Archangel Zadkiel. The seven ray also helps transmute energy from lower to higher frequencies. It is a spiritual cleansing agent that allows the truth of spiritual freedom, empowerment, and choice to be seen and felt, restoring hope and joy to the heart. So let me explain what they mean by ceremony. So cord cutting is a ceremony. Writing new soul contracts with. By the way, I did a collective a guided meditation. You may want to check it on my YouTube channel called it's Breaking Your Soul Contract with Planet Earth and God, Source, and rewriting new contracts that are more in line with the kind of soul you are now. These old contracts cannot continue because they're based on the frequency of your past lives that are no longer who you are. Okay? So that would be considered a ceremony. Also, I'm being told that the violet light is very, very important for you to prominently connect with it. You want to study the Chohans, Choham, the Chohans. The Chohans are the guardian keepers of the violet ray, as is Saint Germain. And so let me continue. The seven ray is very active upon the earth at this time. All of humanity is being affected by it. The seventh ray is the push-pull between the old and the new. The life that has been and can no longer continue in that form, and the new life that wants to evolve from the old. It's like being pregnant, my friends. Okay, there's a point where you're in your mom's body, and you have to be. You have to be in your mom's body. You will not survive outside of your mom's body. So it's a cocoon, right? And then there's a point, excuse me, my card just flew away with the wind. And then there's a point where you have to be born. There is no going around it. You have to allow yourself to be pushed into the world. And so right now you're being pushed into the new earth, okay? If you're vibrating to the 5D frequency and you're into the new earth, reality, and you're not going to play into the apocalyptic Mad Max planet that many people are playing, like Zuckerberg, creating $100 million bunker. I mean, it's so ridiculous. It shows amazing fear. It's so how happy is he? So it's the concept of surrounding yourself with a high frequency. Yes, be aware of the world. Like, of course, we're not asking you to be ignorant ostriches. Of course not. Don't bury your head in the sand, of course. But we are asking you to see the reality of the world as it stands, and then to step into your power, to transmute the energy, and to help us co-create. Again, here I go with the same examples. If a person can sit in meditation and dissolve an inoperable cancerous tumor by pure breathing and meditation, okay, we just talked about it again and again. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about it. He had a massive injury from a car accident where he would have been in a wheelchair. And he meditated, he breathed and visualized another reality. A reality that went against the framework of his current at the time, 3D logic. Okay? So let me continue reading this. But I'm really being asked to tell you that you need to concentrate on the violent flame, the Chohans, Chohan, Saint Germain. I don't know why. I'm also seeing Angel Michael, Archangel Michael, with the sword of truth, the sword of Excalibur, if you will, coming in to cut out what no longer serves us and to speak the truth. Okay, let me continue. Thank you for your patience on that. It honors traditions and ancestral wisdom that serve new life. When the seven ray enters your life, you are asked to balance your attachment to what has been with an openness to the new. And the openness to the new is scary. And yet don't be. In other words, breathe into it. Breathe into it. It's like these little 3-4-year-old kids, I don't know if you've ever skied, but you look down the hill and you go, holy fuck, man, this is going to be a trip. And there's fear. And then you're barreling down the hill and you're like, wow, this is a blast. And you're being asked to do that. You're being asked to gulp down your fear, breathe into your power and go, fucking let's do this, and just flow. It is time to fearlessly question what has been, honor what continues to hold value for you, and dismiss what no longer serves you. Dismiss. That means, yes, my friends, you're going to learn that you're going to lose, quote unquote, friends. People who no longer vibrate to your frequency. No, you're not a chosen one, you're a volunteer. Okay? I will never feed an ego. Never. Okay? Because this will not serve you. You volunteered for this. You're a light worker. The seventh ray also creates form from invisible and tangible spiritual energy. These are the inspired solutions and synchronicities that seem to come out of nowhere. There are signs of the divine order happening. The seventh ray brings in alignment with that divine order, and the more you are willing to invoke and allow that energy to bless you, the more your life will align itself with the genius of creativity, solutions, and loving opportunities the universe wants to bring to your world. Let me continue. The gifts of ritual, order, and ceremony are ways to attract this energy. I'll give you an example of one of the rituals I used to do a lot, and I'm going to go back and doing it once I get on the land. Is opening the four corners above and below. And you're on the wrong live, Marquita. If you want a proper reading, go ahead and contact me on tonybarca.com. Okay? Conscious ceremony done in service to unconditional divine love feeds a need for sacred embodiment. It is the hunger within the soul that many seek to feed through religion and others through the less conscious rituals of addiction. Ritual can be something that keeps you stuck or opens you to the sacred. Right on, right on. Rituals, for example, meditation is a ritual. Chanting a mantra is a ritual. Singing to your plants is a ritual. Eye gazing into the mirror with a candle beneath your face is a ritual to see who you are in other lives. By the way, that's a real exercise. You have to have a very blackened room, like you cannot have any light. Typically, bathrooms unfortunately don't have windows. But anyway, the point is, you put a candle under your face, and if you stare into your eyes, you will see all the faces of your incarnations. I did that when I was like 16, and my brother did it too. It was unbelievable. The challenge with the seven ray is not to become obsessed with the future, with the new, to the extent that you forget about the valuable aspects of what you already have. It is about developing what has value, not rejecting outright anything from the past. The past can teach us wisdom and help us create a more loving future if we allow ourselves to balance our passions for the future with a respect for what has been. A respect for what has been. That means the way our people used to be nomads, the way our people used to collectively cook food together in villages and take care of each other. That is a past wisdom we need to hold on to and bring to the new earth. The gift of the seven rays is the ability to live as an embodied divine presence. For humans who don't trust or even recognize the love of the divine in their hearts as yet, those who do are great supporters. The seventh ray empowers us to use loving ritual to invite divine presence to fill out our lives. It also teaches us how to use our consciousness to clean up our energetic field and the energy field of the world around us, so that the divine can show its face more clearly. The comfort of this can help free all beings from anguish and suffering. There's an invocation I'm going to read to you. I now accept in my own free will the blessings and grace of the seven ray of ritual, order, and ceremony, and the assistance of the unconditional loving masters on this ray, Violet Flame of Saint Germain and Archangel Zadkiel. I open to the magic of creativity, divine genius, and the ability to translate spiritual concepts into real-world experiences for the greatest good. May I discover and use my innate power for conscious and loving ritual and ceremony to enrich and invite spiritual presence into the world. May all beings feel safe and consciously held in a loving divine order according to the great plan of love. Through my own free will, so be it. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Again, this was the Lightworker Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. She's an Australian mystic who is absolutely one of the most brilliant women and one of the kindest. She is so, when you look in her eyes, she is so loving, so kind. It's fantastic. Thank you, Double T. I appreciate that. So, any questions? Double T, it's good to see you, by the way. Thank you. Any questions? Any questions at all? Okay, so if you want to have a reading with me, if you want a proper reading, right? You would go to tonybarca.com. I'm going to actually type it up here. You fill out an intake form. If you're in the U.S., give me your phone number. If you're not in the U.S., make sure you have a WhatsApp number. Make sure you have a WhatsApp. Make sure you give me your country code. Make sure you tell me what country you're in. And I do this all day long. I have clients in South Africa, Dubai, Australia, England, Ireland, France, Italy, Spain. It really, it's all over the world. So there's no problem. I work with clients all over the world. And so if you're interested in a reading, it's a proper reading, because you cannot, honestly, if I get a download for you on a live like this, if I'm directed to do a download on a particular person, ask me a question, I'll do it, but I don't pull that out of my Yahoo. And why? Because I want to hear your voice. I want to know your real name. How's that for an idea? I want to see your date of birth because I do life path numbers. And I want to know what the downloads I'm getting. Sometimes when I do a reading, I get downloads from past lives, your past lives, and it's pretty amazing. I get past lives from certain clients out of nowhere. Certain clients, book a session, Akashic reading session, which I do. I do Akashic readings, and typically what I do is I meditate like 15 to 20 minutes before the reading with the client, because I want to be totally from a meditation point of view, connecting with the Akashic, connecting with the guardians of this great library, and allowing them to download light codes of some of the lives that they want you to understand about you. I can't pick. I can't go. It's not like going to the library and picking the books you want. I go, I say, this is what I need. Show me what I need to tell this person. And they download codes. And I don't know why this is. This is wild though. But they always download typically 3 spirit animals. That's the first thing I see, is the 3 spirit animals and its meanings. And I'm like scribbling with my eyes closed, like writing it down furiously. And then I start getting downloads of past lives that are very, very important for you. And they might actually be mundane, but you might think they're mundane. And so that's one of the things I do. When I do hypnotherapy with my clients, I'm an internationally certified hypnotherapist for past lives and healing trauma. And because I'm a psychic, what's really cool, I feel, for me, I feel like blessed, is that when the person is going through their journey through hypnotherapy, I quite often get downloads as well. It's wild. And I sometimes, as they're describing it, I'm there seeing it. It's wild, and I'm getting more downloads on what it means. So I take notes, and then usually it's a 2-hour session for the hypnotherapy, because and sometimes I've had clients where it took 3 hours, because it will take an hour for the person to go through X, Y, and Z, and it will and then suddenly, boom, they're going into massive stuff that is like mind-blowing. Like I had a client who saw her very birthing as a soul, and saw her first material incarnation in a body, as a sentient being, not a humanoid at all in any respect. And then she just went through the progressions, and as she progressed at the time from 14th dimension down to 7th dimension, and eventually here, so obviously 3D. And so depending on how long it takes, it could be for 2 hours it's $225, and for 3 hours it's $300. And it's an amazing experience. It's recorded through Zoom. It's a video, audio, obviously. It's because I want to see what's happening to you as you're journeying. And it's probably my most incredible passion. Like, I'll never retire. I adore doing this. And I was trained under the Newton Institute, which is the guy who Michael Newton wrote the books Journey of Souls, Destiny of Souls. The Newton Institute has a program of training hypnotherapists, and the final, which I'm training for this year, will be LBL, Lives Between Lives. But to be blunt, I've already had clients that had LBL sessions with me. It just happened organically. But I want to be, official. My professor is Dr. Paul Aron. He doesn't know this. I don't think he does. It makes me laugh because he's an amazing man, but he's married to his twin Ray. It's like, and they don't realize it. I'm just sitting there in awe when I'm in class, the Zoom class, and I'm in awe watching them just fucking do their magic with all of us and people across the planet. And I told him, I said to him in a text, you're in a twin Ray relationship with your wife, and he didn't respond. I don't know if he's very humble. He's brilliant as hell. She's brilliant. They're both PhDs. And amazing people. Twin rays are very salty, jazzy. Twin rays are rare. Okay, there's 144,000 twin flames at any given time, and there's 144 twin rays at any given time. They're rare. And unless you're in union, and unless you're working with your twin to help the collective, you might not be. I'm not trying to, people throw these terms around like it's popcorn. It's crazy. You have to feel your twin ray. And I know that Dr. Paul Aron knows his connection with his wife is incredibly, solid, intense, and gorgeous. I know he does. And he probably isn't into labels and most twin rays are very humble, and they're not into labels. They don't give one fuck about that label, to be honest with you. It doesn't do anything for them. But a famous twin ray couple would be Abraham Hicks, Jerry and Esther Hicks. I would say that would be a twin ray couple. The other couple that's famous, of course, and you know them, is Yeshua and Mary Magdalena. And unfortunately, they had to go through separation, but they were transcendental in that reality. They became transcendental. So twin ray is a big label. Okay, it's a big, big deal. It's massive, massive, transcendental consciousness. It's being walking beside your beloved in conscious mission to help the collective come out of this 3D matrix, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So hopefully I didn't I just want you to think about that and say, am I that? And if you're that, congratulations, because they're very rare. 144. 144,000 twin flames usually means at any given time there is 144,000 twin flames to balance the planet. But when I began this live, I was talking about frequency. And a couple lives I've been talking about frequency and dolphins and whales. Did you know, because I didn't know this, did you know that we're not allowed to communicate in any level with wild dolphins? Did you know that? Now, I just kind of, right before me reading the cards, I told you about how the Russians had pregnant women from the time of conception to their very birth swimming with dolphins because of the sonic frequency. And these women gave birth to babies whose eventually they were tested for their IQ, who were 20 to 30% higher in IQ ratings than the average kid, the average child, because of the sonic frequency. Now there's a movie I'm inviting you to see. It's a Star Trek movie. It was done in the early 90s, and it's set in the 80s, and it's about Spock and Kirk, Captain Kirk, and the planet Earth. I'm going to just say 3000. Let's call it the year 3000. Okay, I'm just going to say that for the hell of it. Lost their last whale. And the frequency of that whale is no longer there because the whale has passed. And planet Earth is dying. And they know that it's dying because the frequency of the whale is no longer. So they hatch up a plan to go back into time. SeaWorld, it's kind of like ha-ha, wink-wink bullshit, but there's the warning. And they go and they basically kidnap a female and a male whale. The minute they bring it back and release it to the ocean, the planet Earth is back online. Because the frequency of these whales is healing the planet. So it's really important for you to look at frequency. I started my live before many of you came on saying, if you have an alarm, your fire alarm with the battery off and it's doing beep, 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 get the alarm, do something with that, get the battery fixed, do it right away. Don't live with that frequency. It's messing you up. So frequency is everything. And it's important to, when you're looking at high frequency music like 632 hertz, 432 hertz, 528 hertz, and all these other high hertz, right? Try to add ocean sounds and dolphin and whale sounds to the sound, to the collective sound. Have some ambient music like that going on your large screen TV. Don't try to. I hate saying that, but right now you really need high frequency to help you heal. I just woke up beginning of January, not in union yet. So, so I don't know why people are saying you're a twin ray. No offense. Twin rays, I'm going to tell you how it works with twin rays. And this is I know another couple who's not famous, but they're shamans, who are twin rays. They met, and all the twin rays is like that, because I have 5 twin ray couples that I know of. 3 of them are my clients. 2 of them, I know of, but they all meet, and there's no runner chaser. There's no not being in union. They're always in union from the day they meet. They're on the phone every day. Maybe like I'll give you an example of this particular couple. She is a shaman, and she needed to go to Peru. She had shit to do. She had stuff already planned, so they were always on the phone. the separation wasn't separation because they weren't getting on the same track. The separation was, I've got shit to do, you got shit to do. Let's call each other every day. And they did. They called each other every day. They ended up getting married. They have a child. And they're in mission. They're in union. They're in mission. Twin rays never separate. It never happens. There's never any runner chaser. There's never any jealousy. There's never any games. There's never any... And they are in mission together. In other words, they help the collective heal. That's their mission. So twin ray is a very, it's a massive... That's why when people say, because I'm in union with my twin flame, and people, oh my God, congratulations. I'm like, that's not a flex, my friend. We're twin fucking flames. That means we're still in the runner-chaser dynamic. We might be under the same roof, but there's still issues going on that make us runner-chaser. People have to understand the psychology of running and chasing isn't always physical, though of course it is. It's also very much about not meeting in the middle about certain things that trigger disgust, resentment, fear, anger. I'm sorry. It is not a flex to say you're a twin flame. It is one leg of the journey. The flex is to say we went, and this is possible, by the way, and I know this for a fact. You can go from being a twin flame to a twin ray in one lifetime. And I don't care if it happens when you take your last breath and your twin flame sees you and you see them, however it goes down. You see each other before the last breath and you get it. And you capitulate and you surrender, and you've just stepped out of the 3D framework of twin flame into the 5D framework of twin ray. And there might be much more, there might need to be more physical separations and other, incarnations to finalize that final push into a new conscious understanding of each other. In other words, you may not incarnate right after that. Okay? Somebody might need to go to Minnesota for college, and the other person needs to go to Paris for college for a little while. And then the twin ray connection now continues maybe in a second or third incarnation in other planets, in other dimensions, or in this planet, in a 5D realm. Everything is new to me, but learning daily. Yes, definitely not a flex. Right on. Exactly. Thank you for saying that, because people think it's a flex. So any questions on that? Because it's really interesting how there's a guy, you might have heard, if you're a twin flame, you've been doing a lot of fucking research. I know you have. So there's a guy that says he's made 5,000 twin flames come into union. Okay. And what? Union? Permanent union? Or temporary? Because it's going to happen on its own organically. That's the funny thing, is that twin flames come in and out of each other's life. It's almost like a DNA circular spiral Fibonacci shit, to be honest. So union is a done deal with twin flames. It will happen, and there will be separation. See, there's the problem. The separations will happen as well, because the triggering will happen, and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So at the end of the day, you don't need to pay anyone to be in union. You do need to pay someone, probably someone like me. I'll be blunt, where you go to someone like me who coaches you on how to navigate this, so that the triggerings become transcended, so that you can look at yourself. And I don't use the mirror technique because some of it isn't the mirror technique. I think the mirror technique is something Twin Flame Universe did, and I think it's a lot of bullshit, because I've seen, I don't know if you saw their show, their little expose on Netflix. I think it was Amazon. I watched the whole thing, and it was always back to the mirror. When you do that too much, when somebody says that to you too much, it's deflecting, and it's narcissistic manipulation. So there are some things that are yours, but there are some things that are the twins, and they are not willing to look at it, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's not about you, and you gotta be honest with yourself. Is this my shit? No, actually it's not my shit. It's his shit or her shit. Okay, well then that's it. There's no mirror exercise needed. But you gotta be fiercely honest with yourself. You've got to go in, tuck in like a cannonball into your shadows, and be willing to look at it. It's what I had to do when I did ayahuasca. For me, ayahuasca was the key. I'll be straight up. Ayahuasca, bufo, and the grandfather medicine I needed to do these medicines for me. That doesn't mean that's what you need to do, by the way. But at the end of the day, everyone's journey is so different. You know, it's what is right for you. Some people are not called to the medicine, by the way. I've been called to the medicine since I was 17, when I read Al Huxley's Doors of Perception. At 17, I read the book like 10, 20, I'm not kidding, 10, 20 times, and I was like, holy fuck, I need to find my shaman. And eventually I did. Like literally 40, how many years? 40 years later, I found my shaman. I was 57. So it's not for everybody. Don't be pressured to do it. Don't think it's a cool thing. Because I know of someone who's going to Costa Rica fucking 6 months out of the year doing medicine constantly, and she's more whacked out than she was in the beginning, because the medicine, you have to be straight up letting it work through you for a year, 6 months to a year. You don't do this shit every fucking other month. And when shamans, charlatans, take your money knowing you did it last month or last week or like 3 months ago, and they're taking your money again, there's something wrong there. They're charlatans, not shamans. They're taking your money. Because a true shaman would say, wait, hang on, you were here 3 months ago. What are you here for? Well, I want to do it again. I still have questions. What questions? The medicine will work through you for a year. I'm not kidding. And when the medicine tells you to stop, fucking stop. Listen to the medicine. It's not going to lie to you. Bufo, I did, hang on, let me tell you. I did 6 years ago. I did Bufo 6 years ago. I'm about ready to do it again sometime this year. And the reason is because I got to tweak something else. But in terms of doing that shit like every 3 months, just because you have the money to do it doesn't mean you're doing it right. I mean, you can look at some pretty famous people who are fucked up, who have done it 14 times, 15 times. And Will Smith is a great example, a poster child of not why too much is just too much, you know? And you need to integrate this medicine. That's why you need to do it with some Western minds. Okay? Like I have a friend who has done the medicine and finally went into the jungles of, I'm not joking, the jungles of the Amazonian jungles. I mean, straight up jungles, my friend. But she had done it with European, Western-minded shamans for a while to understand what to expect, so that when she went deep into the jungle, and for her, a part of it was the adventure, to be honest. I mean, she was in a tent where the water, there was a pool of water, a spring, that was like, I think it was like 100 degrees. In other words, it was boiling water. They had to be careful when they got out of the tent to walk around it and so forth. So it was a true ass adventure for her as well. And it was important for her to have that adventure. And hopefully, I told her, dude, stop doing the fucking medicine and become a shaman and start dispensing, because you're there. Ego death are what it does. Yeah. But for some of us, you need it. You definitely need it. But for some of us, no. Some people, I'm going to tell you something. Some of you kids born in 2000, 1997 to 2000 and upwards, yeah, most of you are already wired for these conscious breakthroughs that are amazing, including some of you don't even have a problem with ego. You don't need an ego death. That's not your problem. Your problem is to realize that you're not crazy, but the world is. Your problem is to figure that one out and actually believe that you're not the crazy one. You're a sane person in a fucking crazy world. Okay? And to make this, hey, good evening from a laundrette in rainy London. That's beautiful. I'm glad you're here. I'm an 80s baby. Beautiful. 80s baby is good. 80s baby may need the breakthrough. Some of us did come in a wake, you know? Like I was born in 1962, year of the tiger, the water tiger. And to be honest, I remembered everything. Hello, Polly, it's good, from Australia. I love it. I'm so blessed. London and Australia. So not everyone needs to do the medicine, honestly. Mushrooms can be your allies. Psilocybin has been proven to help soldiers, combat vets with massive fucking depression. Massive, okay? And it's really helped them transcend. There was a great documentary Joe Rogan did called DMT, the God's what was it called? The God Molecule, DMT. Watch that. I watched that like 5-6 times. And the only problem I have with acid, people do acid, they think, oh yeah, it's acid. And I told this to my son. I said, the reason why I don't like things like that is because it's made by people who are out to make money. And the energy of those people is one of greed, fuckery, and more bullshit. Why would I want to take that it's not medicine. It's been handled by too many greedy, fucked up hands. That's why I like frog, toad, the powder. It's powdered. It comes right there. The medicine from these shamans is made with chanting. There's a consciousness to that. I don't like things that have been manhandled and woman-handled too much. And so that's why I'm not into it. Psilocybin, you go to a cow patch, and boom, there it is, right? So it hasn't been handled, okay, at all, mostly, right, at all. And so it's that kind of consciousness that you want to be aware of. You don't want to take hallucinogenics just to fucking trip out and go, oh, the sky's orange. Yeah, but what was the message? Oh, nothing. I just saw, little elves dancing around. Okay, great. Exciting. Bravo. So you saw elves. Fantastic. You saw 7 women walking in veils. Fantastic. Now what? But whereas the medicines are spirits that have a story to tell you. They are guiding you into other realms. They are healing allies, and they want you to understand yourself, and they want you to face your shadows. And if it's too much, like ayahuasca, when the great feminine presence, everyone said that. They all see the feminine presence. I didn't see snakes. Some people see snakes. I didn't see any fucking jaguars. Okay, I'm being honest. But we all agree on one thing: it's a feminine presence that comes in. And so the Great Mother comes in, Pachamama, hence her name Pachamama, and she will try to, challenge you, and you got to tuck in. You got to go, okay, I surrender. And once you surrender, it all explodes into geometric lights, and there you are traveling and sobbing and purging, and it's fantastic. It's one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had, and I've had it twice, for 2 days straight. And it's pretty amazing. It's probably one of, but you've got to find the right it's a word of mouth thing. You don't just, it took me like years to find a shaman, finally years to, not years. Once I found her, I sold everything I had to move, to be with her for those 2, it was just 48 hours. And then I found another shaman through the shaman to do bufo. And then it was like that. So it was one of the most amazing experiences. But I've heard nightmares because some people are doing this like a conveyor belt. Like I had a client who did bufo, and he did 3 sessions in 24 hours. That's insanity, and it's irresponsible, and it's not a shaman. It's a conveyor belt. Be careful, because they're out there. They're out there in Utah. They're out there where in Florida. And they really don't give a fuck about you. They really don't. They might act like they do until you get your money. And they'll be polite. They're not going to be, wrong. But mark my word. You're better off with someone who actually is asking you massive questions and making it hard. It's making you jump through hoops to do it. Okay, that's who you want to talk to. Someone who's going to make you jump through hoops. Because they know that if they take you on, it's a karmic contract they've taken on. And they better make sure that they're doing that. This is not going to be a negative karmic contract. Does that make sense? This is what I do personally with my readings, with hypnotherapy and my readings. I actually reject some clients. I'm like, yeah, I'm not your psychic. They're shocked. They think I'm here for the money. Do I need to pay my mortgage? Yes. But do I need to take on a karmic contract that's negative? Hell fucking no. It's not worth the money. So you've got to find someone who gives a shit about maybe no offense, not you, but their own karmic contract. If anything at all, even that. Even that's better than getting someone. There's a place in Costa Rica that's infamous, and I'm not going to mention the name, but if you have, they've had one person, and this is from a client who was there, where a person was out of, on ayahuasca and jumped into the flames and perished. Jumped into the flames and perished. Where the fuck were the facilitators? You also want to have a shaman who for 30 people, I'm being straight up, has 10 at the minimum facilitators who are constantly on their feet, moving back and forth, making sure you're not choking on your, vomit, things. I'm not kidding. I'm being real. Who's doing rapé for you and things like that. Making sure you're okay, making sure you can go to the bathroom, making sure that you're not leaving the circle, because if right, that they create a circle when they open the four corners above and below, and your ass needs to be in the circle. You cannot walk out into the, oh my God, the moon. No, you can't, because that's outside that circle has not been purified. Because malevolent spirits can step into you, because you're completely open. All your chakras open. You're blasted open. You're full on fucking open, and you cannot be anywhere but in the circle with your shamans, the music, your facilitators. You cannot walk out, because the outside has not been sanctified, has not been cleared and purified. There's no protection outside, and it's a real concern. That's why when I tell my clients, if you're gonna get drunk, if you're going to do mushrooms, if you're going to do DMT on your own, whatever, right? Fucking do the four corners above and below. Call on your archangels. Sage your space. Sage yourself. Then do it. Don't fucking leave yourself open like that. Because you're letting malevolent spirits, and any of you who have played with Ouija boards know how this shit works, how easy they walk in. It's a joke to them. So be careful. It's a real concern. Why do you think you think it's a ceremony for the fuck of it, just to entertain? When they spit out this holy water, when they do all of this stuff, they're sanctifying the space so you're safe while you take the medicine. Yep, open sacred space. I even do that with cacao. Fantastic, exactly. So I even tell my clients who drink alcohol, I'm not joking. I'm not going to tell them, oh yeah, don't drink or don't smoke pot, or no, just if you're going to get high, fucking do what you got to do, so that, and calling your archangels to protect you while you can say, look, I'm having a fucking, this is a week from hell. I need a drink, or I need to get high, or I need X, Y, and Z, right? Make sure it's not illicit. Again, you know what I'm saying by that? Something that could harm you, right? And then do what you got to do. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh yeah, just you it's really bad. No, fuck it. If you're going to do it, fucking protect yourself, okay? Because it's a real concern, and attachments are a real fucking problem. And there are people, and another thing that can attach on you, which is real. Please don't go to people who will charge you $1,000 a candle. Please don't do that. Okay, they're full of shit. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Is you need to sage your space. You need to put high frequency music. You need to tell them to fuck off, actually. I'm not joking. It's that simple. Depression is very much a time when people can actually be so vulnerable that you can get attachments. And so again, work on your chakras and call for protection. Just say, I'm really having a hard time. I'm going through the dark night of the soul. So Angel Michael, Metatron, Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, protect me, and work on your chakras. Because depression, the frequency is so low that you are open to those weird attachments. You're more likely. Another way to ground yourself is to go on Pachamama and lay down. Thank God spring is here upon us, is coming soon, fast approaching. And lay yourself down on Pachamama and ask Pachamama to heal you. And visualize all of the gunk sliding off your body. And work on your chakras. And put your yoni or lingam to the sun for 15 minutes a day. For men, it actually activates higher levels of testosterone. For women, it recharges your root chakra. So true about telling them to fuck off, confronting them and saying enough. Does it? Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. Yeah, fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not joking. I mean, blow up in your power. And then you can totally do an Om Namah Shivaya or Om Shanti Shanti or if you're really fucking a badass, go ahead and do Gayatri Mantra. There's all kinds of fantastic mantras. There are thousands upon thousands of mantras for every single thing you need, from being more beautiful looking, I'm not joking, I'm not kidding, to being more spiritually aware. There are mudras for that. There are mudras to lose weight. There are mudras to actually, when you put all your fingers together, like a triangle, it looks like a triangle, and you've seen people do that. Some people call it the Illuminati sign. Not really. If you close your eyes, you're connecting with higher levels of dimensions. Bashar does it. I do it. When I do my Akashic readings, that's what I have to do to get to that realm. So there's mudras. Yes, about stunning parts, 100% about stunning private parts. Yes, it's very, 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 you have no idea how important that is. I'm sorry about this noise. Next week, actually not next week, the end of this month, the next time I do a live, you'll hear birds and you'll hear nature. This is finally over. I'm so excited. But anyway, for now. The heart chakra mudra is beautiful, like a lotus. That's beautiful. They don't like confronting from empowered soul. They scatter. Yes, they scatter. See, thank God. Thank you, goddesses and high priestesses. Thank you for confirming this. Thank you, because you guys need to know how important your powers are. The sun is so important in general. That's why they're messing with it. Yes, with a lot of their chemtrails. And Vin Diesel. Did you notice how Vin Diesel has kind of disappeared? Two things happened. I remember watching it. It was in 2017. I was in upstate New York. And I saw a picture of Vin Diesel crouched to the ground with chemtrails above his head, just simply pointing up like that. And there was no comment. Nothing. The second thing was when Rock came into his very, very successful Fast and Furious. Believe it. If you've never seen the first movie, watch the first. It's fucking amazing. The Fast and the Furious. Now, Vin Diesel is a light being, in my humble opinion, because he was all about familia. I don't know if you know that about him. And then Rock came in with this bullshit and took over the setup. So there were two things that happened. And Vin Diesel has basically retired, as far as I'm seeing. His production company is called, or was called, Multi-Race Productions. All of us. Beautiful human being. And The Rock is now, I did numerology on The Rock, believe it or not, and I believe he was born the 16th, I believe, if I'm correct. Anyway, there was something about his numerology that showed the collapse. He's going to be going through the collapse. It's interesting how, people have this idea that you hang out with certain people and you're going to be fine. Like, everyone was like in love with Oprah, right? And it's funny because like 25 years ago, she turned me off. And I'll tell you when she turned me. Money doesn't bring you happiness. It really doesn't make you happy. And I thought to myself, what is wrong with this woman? Money doesn't bring you happiness. Well, it sure the fuck does when your kid's got leukemia and you don't have, and your insurance is denied all care because you've hit the ceiling on your insurance because it's an HMO. Money would be helpful right now. Or if you have no food for your child. Or what's going on in Gaza right now. A lot of them don't have the $9,000 to actually walk into Egypt. Did you know that? That they're charging them money to get out? That's why they can't get out? They have no money. Money doesn't bring happiness. Money is like tofu, as I said, Andromeda flame, you remember. Money is a neutral energy. It is the root of all evil if someone is evil. And it is the root of choice. It is what you make of it. So there's all these weird things that we've been taught, and many people have tried to brainwash us with their own little agendas of greed, and finally they're being exposed for who they are. So the poor Rock hanging out with Oprah during the Hawaii Maui debacle. It's very interesting to me that he's finally getting the fruits of his labor. You reap what you sow, my friend. You reap what you sow. It's an interesting time we live in. It's exciting. It's empowering. We're finally realizing who we are. And the more you love yourself, this love yourself was never about kumbaya. Love yourself. Just love yourself. No, it was about your fucking power. Love yourself so you don't gaslight your downloads. Love yourself so your third eye opens up and you don't fucking shut it down because you're afraid. Love yourself because then you'll stand in your 2 feet like a powerhouse. Love yourself so that you can help other people, starseeds who are born, who are young, who actually think that they're the ones that are crazy when in fact they're the sane ones in a crazy world. Love yourself so you can make a difference. Love yourself so you believe that your meditation on creating the new earth is actually going to be fruitful and that you will harvest the fruit of that intention. That's what loving yourself was all about. It was not ever about getting plastic surgery. It was never about getting a bigger ass. It was never about that. It was about looking in the mirror and going, yes, this is a meat and flesh bone temple. And I will do my best to be powerful in this temple, this temporary temple. I will care for it and I will honor, most importantly, what is within this temple. What is within this temple is good. I am a good soul. I am a soul of God, and I am a brother or sister to these other sentient beings in this planet, in all planets, across timelines. Are there evil forces? Yes, of course there are, but that is not of our concern, because if you concentrate on the evil and not the light, you're gonna get lost in it. I remember meeting a man once who really wanted to meet me. He really wanted to hook up with me. It's making me laugh. He was a man who had decided that it was a good idea to tackle demons. That was his whole focus, demons. If you're not careful, you'll either join them or become insane. And I wanted no part of that guy. He freaked me. I was like, this is like, no, hell no, fuck no. Right? So I'm not saying don't be aware of it. Like the boxer, I don't know if you've heard of the boxer Ryan who talked about the Bohemian Grove in Northern California. It's a real place. And David Icke's been talking about this for fucking decades and laughed at. Decades! There's another island, maybe some of you guys know, in England, where they do the same thing as the Bohemian Grove. It's known. It's been known for decades. But suddenly everyone's going crazy talking about it. And they're talking about it because people, it's like watching a train wreck. You're in shock. It's shocking. It's deer in the headlights. I love the tofu analogy. Me too. I'm finally loving life. It's an amazing place to be. Thank you, Jennifer, for saying that. Thank you, Jennifer, very much for saying that. Life is like I keep saying, life itself is fantastic. This planet is absolutely gorgeous. It is so beautiful. It is so diverse. We as a human race, we have all these colors, and we have people with red hair. We have people with brown skin with red hair, black skin with red hair. We have people with. Did you notice I use a lot of red hair in my art? Because red hair isn't a thing that is owned by one race. We all have the propensity for blonde hair and red hair. If you look at the Aborigines, they have strawberry blonde hair and blonde hair. It's like, okay, there are islands and peoples that have green eyes and blonde hair, but yet they're not Caucasian. We have Caucasian people that have the most incredible, beautiful depth of blue eyes. We are so diverse. We have black people whose skin is so dark, like velvet. It looks like a velvet sky that glows, with the most incredible bone structure, like the Maasai, for example. We should do better with each other than to divide and conquer each other by the rule of the 1%. We should be better than that. And we're being asked to be better than that. And so our diversity is our strength. Our diversity is our power. And if you look at indigenous people all over the world, the Irish are an indigenous people. The Aborigines, the Native Americans, the Africans, the Asians, the Chinese, the Japanese, each of them have certain almost downloads into their DNA. That's why we incarnate into different bloodlines to experience these different consciousness that is imbued and embedded in these particular different markers, into what they call some of the junk DNA, which has a library of information that we are being activated. That's why you're having ascension issues, meaning you're not eating like you used to. Like your maybe eggs, you used to love eggs, you used to eat omelets all the time, and now the eggs curdle in your stomach. You can't fathom why, but it is. And Billy Carson, who I'm starting to like. By the way, I used to not like Billy Carson. I thought he was brilliant. I didn't like his eyes, but his eyes are softening. And he talked about don't eat flesh that has been tortured. He calls it torturous meat, which is very true. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegan, and I'm going back to veganism. And I remember turning when I was doing ayahuasca. I made myself toast that morning with coconut oil. And one of my friends tells me that whenever she eats toast now, it's with coconut oil. She always thinks about me. It's actually quite good. Coconut oil on toast. So good, so good. And so it's not hard to be a vegan or a vegetarian. I would ask you to do muscle testing. And the way you do muscle testing is that you will you can actually take a slip of paper and write coconut oil, I'm not kidding, and put it up against the chest and put your left arm out and have somebody push it down like a lever. And if it's hard to push down, that's for you. Like, for example, for me, coffee's not good. I love coffee, but I do decaf, but still it's not good. And recently, in the last 30 days, I've stopped drinking coffee, and it was effortless. I just can't do coffee. I don't know. Something's shifting. So anything that you feel you need, let's say you're really into bacon. I'm just gonna be straight up. Do a muscle testing to see, is it you wiring yourself to think you need bacon, or do you really need bacon? Do the muscle testing with the bacon, packet of bacon up against your chest. In this case, I would ask for you to have the actual thing up against your chest, not on a piece of paper, and then put your left hand up and have somebody push as hard as they can. If it goes down, you don't fucking need the bacon. That's you. That's in your head. It's not what you need. Okay? So a lot of people don't understand. If you want to open your third eye, don't eat meat. I'm not being funny. When you do ayahuasca, they ask you to do a few things not to do. Don't eat meat. Don't drink alcohol, don't smoke pot, and don't have sex. So that for 2 weeks, you've purified your system of all this stuff, and you go in and you're ready. And if they don't ask you to do that, they're full of shit. But don't eat meat is how my third eye, it was open when I was a baby, but I'm being real. And a lot of us, actually all of us are open with a third eye. What am I saying? Except I was lucky is that I had parents who didn't close it with a lot of fuckery, okay? Let me put it in that perspective. That's a better perspective and a truer truth. We're all open with third eyes. We're all born with third eye openings. However, it's shut. It's calcified through massive stuff. Interesting perception. Yeah, the thing about the Native Americans, indigenous people, is they fucking honored the buffalo, the bison. They honored what they hunted. They honored the bear. There's a reverence to this stuff, and they knew how to do take a good shot, right? But mass production of animals who want to live, honey, they want to live, okay? They're fucking fighting and jumping out of trucks. Come on, let's wake up here. Let's not act like we don't know what's going on. That's massive cortisol, massive trauma, massive fear, put in cages. Oh yeah, that's going to be really good for you. So, and the way even grass-fed, I love the one they say grass-fed. I'm in Northern California. I've gone through the farm ranches where I see the Black Angus. I've seen them transported in those trucks. And it's traumatic. So that's not even good either. If you're not willing to take it out, like my grandfather used to hunt. He used to hunt duck, pheasant, deer, and prepare it himself. I have more respect for that than somebody going to the supermarket. In fact, it's so prevalent, this ignorance of where food is and what it takes to have animal, is Gordon Ramsay, just so you know, Gordon Ramsay did a show where he raised two pigs. And he raised the pigs, went on beer. It was a multiple kind of test. So he raised these two pigs, one on beer, one without. He named them. They were pets. And then he took them to the abattoir. It was a very clean abattoir, a butchery, abattoir. And he wept. He wept and wept in camera and said, this is the reality. And so if you're not willing to see a face on your plate, that there was once a face, and so forth, then you might want to consider. And they did a test with kids where they asked the kids, what do you want to eat? I want chicken nuggets. So they put a chicken in front of them and the kids start crying. I don't know if you ever saw that video. It went viral for a little minute. And the kids were crying. They didn't want to do it. Well, no kidding. Of course they didn't. Because ultimately, why would you want to take the life of a sentient being that wants to live? So, of course, why would this open your third eye? How is it that a hamburger that was traumatized is now in your bun, and how is that going to open your third eye? So again, it's not about. In fact, Billy Carson says, if you want to manifest, I'm not kidding. You need to look up his video. You might want to not eat that. He calls it traumatized meat for the 30 to 45 days it will take for you to manifest what you want. I'm going to say amen to him, because that's the truth. And hey, girl, no time. And hi, how are you? It's good to see you again. So, consider it. Consider what you want. What matters to you? What really, really matters? I know of a spiritualist who, and I knew she was bullshit. And this was one of the first times and only times I was like, Regina Meredith, do better. Come on, girl. But she was interviewing this woman who's a doctor, Barbara something, I forgot. But she was saying, oh yeah, the Pleiadians love a beef. And I'm like, bullshit. Bullfush. Every hypnotherapy session I've had with clients who had starseed past lives, meat was not part of the story. It was not part of the story at all. Okay? There was one particular planet where they hunted meat, but it was a planet, and the sentient beings on that planet, I wouldn't call them humanoids, but they had a certain system that was kind of weird. Because I always ask, what do you guys eat? What does your dwellings look like? Show me other people that look like you. What is the philosophy? That's one of my jobs, is to kind of excavate with my clients in hypnotherapy. So that was the one. But most of them, the majority of the starseeds on other planets are vegetarians. What does that tell you? It should tell you something. So my son, to be quite blunt, is into fish. That's what he eats. He eats fish, and he really, really tries to stay away from all of that other stuff. He definitely does. And I know Gandhi used to eat unfertilized eggs for, I guess the protein. But ultimately, you've got a whole southern Indian populace who've lived for 1,000 years on milk, ghee, right, which is butter, clarified butter, ghee, and cheese. And they're fine. When I was a little girl, my main eating in Switzerland in particular, because meat, I don't know if you guys know that, but when I was a little girl, meat was very expensive anyway, thank God. And so I pretty much lived on raclette. Everything was cheese, honestly. Cheese and vegetables, lots and lots and lots of fruit and vegetables, lots of it. And then fish, to be blunt. I did eat fish a lot. But beef, yeah, that was like, yeah, good luck. That's why it's a filet mignon, because it's so, because it's something you would probably eat once every, I don't know, other month. When I was a kid in France, it wasn't a staple. So I think that it's something you might want to consider. It might also happen that during the ascension process that you're going through, it will happen naturally anyway. You know what I mean? Like, you won't be able to stomach it. You won't be able to digest it. It will hurt you. And that's a sign that you're going through the ascension. I'm not kidding. Yeah, there are higher dimensions. Agree. The majority eat with compassion. They have compassion for all beings. It would be in a perfect world, like on a farm or a village, perhaps, be fine. But, well, I mean, I personally, that is such bullock. Some star racers don't even need to eat. Exactly. That is true. There are some star racers that don't eat at all. That's absolutely true. Thank you for saying that. Absolutely true. That's not even a conversation. You might call them breatharian. There is a documentary called "Eat the Sun." Watch it. Eat the Sun, and it's about that. There in Russia, there was a clinic in Russia where anybody who was sick. I don't know if you know this, but in Russia they have a process where you can actually apply to go to a fasting clinic, and it's water. That's it. You're fasting on water. They take your blood every day. You do a little weights, and you can stay there for 2 weeks, 45 days, whatever, right? And it's completely paid for by the Russian government. And the the documentary was on Amazon, and it's disappeared. I can't find it to save my life. I can't even find it anywhere. It was brilliant. It was around 2017, 2018. But fasting on water, I think takes, for me personally, I have to sleep. I have to be able to, I can't work. Like I can't, So I tend to fast 24 to 36 hours. My biggest fast this year was 5 days. And so, yeah, fasting and taking enemas or colonics are really important. You definitely want to get whatever's stuck in your intestines out. Fasting helps with that, but also you need to find a good person who's a colonic expert is like, it's like finding a gold needle in a haystack. Good luck. Most of them don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore. In the old days, in the 70s and 80s, I started doing my first colonic when I was 14. My parents were actually my mother was very advanced. And in France, Switzerland, they have clinics where you eat a potager, which means a consommé actually, where it's a soup and you eat very little. It's mostly vegetables. Here we go again with the vegetables. And they massage you, which rids the toxins, drains the lymphatic system, and you have a series of colonics. And you go there for 2 weeks. And my grandmother lived until she was 94. And she was doing that every year, going for her cure. It's called a cure, C-U-R-E, a cure. And so we as a people need that. So if you're celibate right now, which I don't know, this is a random download, but I'll say it, and I've said it before, get yourself a good masseuse. Connect with a good massage therapist, preferably one that has a healing hand. Someone that might be doing Reiki as well. Do you understand on the side besides massages? You definitely want a deep tissue, like a Swedish massage, aromatic oils, and do a massage if you can wing it. Do a massage at least once a month, but preferably once a week, and that will help you if you're you're celibate and in separation with your twin. That's going to help you massively. Okay, try to figure out how to do it. Like buy a package from someone. Just say, look, I know you're charging me $100 for an hour. If I pay you up front $300, will you give me the last? And they might go for it. So there you go, right? Here, let me read your comments. Steamed cabbage, so good. Is TCM traditional Chinese medicine? Kidneys are the center of, yes, for your health. Thank you. It's what produces red blood cells, immunity. Wonderful. Thank you, Levi. There's a guy, I'm trying to remember his name. His first name is Daniel, but he wrote the book, The Tao, T-A-O, The Tao of Detox. And he's a huge Chinese medicine expert as well. And he is a huge advocate of fasting. And he says that if you fast for 7 days on water, whatever ills you have, tumors, ills, whatever, will dissolve. It's a 7-day marker. It's got to be for 7 days. So you might want to check. That book is in my library, and you might want to check that book. If you have gardens, if you have the ability to plant, like right now, my plan is to plant a lot of medicinal herbs, hawthorn, yarrow, Japanese knotweed, which is considered a weed, which I love. Oh, thank you, Levi. So glad I found you too. I hope to hear more of you, see more of you. So the spiritual journey is what we take in our bodies. And some of us are emotional. Like, I'm an emotional eater. My first fast, I was 18 years old. I did it 11 day. No, hang on. No, it was 11 day. No, hang on. No, it was a 10-day fast, and it was Dr. Bragg's fast, and it was distilled water, 1 teaspoon of honey to a gallon of water, and lemon juice. And I did that, and the energy level, the first 3 days was a bitch, because, I was young, and I was on the couch for like 3 days. And then on the fourth day, I was like bouncing around like insane. Like, I was just, it was amazing. I was running around New York City. I lived in New York at the time. And it was effortless. And then my next biggest fast was 16 days. And I did it both fasts. That fast, I was 18. I was on my own with my mom. We did it together. And then my next fast, it was 11 days. And that was amazing. On the 11th day, the trees started glimmering and shimmering. I was either hallucinating or I was breaking through the veils, if you will. And I remember my twin on the phone going, okay, it's time for you to get off the fast. Because I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And I was doing 2.5 miles, 2.5 miles per day power walking. Arnold Earhart is somebody you may want to, you look at the book. Arnold Earhart, he was born in the 1800s. He was a Swiss clinician. He was a fruitarian. And you can look up Rational Fasting by Arnold Earhart. And amazing. If you look at his eyes, his face, he's gorgeous. I started Ramadan today, but I might convert the final week to a water fast. Wow, that's intense. Yeah, it's weird too, because yesterday I fasted for 36 hours. And today, honestly, I woke, I was starving, so I had a handful of hazelnuts. And that did the trick with a cup of tea, and I was fine. So, but yeah. Ramadan, there's something about fasting. It actually extends your life, and you're less likely to have dementia and Alzheimer's, to be honest with you, especially if you're not taking their poisons, and using herbs. Lion's mane, I can't speak enough about lion's mane. So do I. I love hazelnut. Love it. So lion's mane, chaga, reishi, but definitely, if nothing else, if all you can afford is lion's mane, fucking get it. And then Japanese knotweed, cat's claw, and I'm trying to remember another one, it's an excellent protocol for Lyme disease. My twin had Lyme disease, and he had to do the 3 weeks antibiotic. But then I got Stephen Buhner's book on Lyme disease. He's an expert. He's like one of the premier herbalists in the world. And he came up with a protocol from Lyme disease, and Lyme disease has not come back on my twin at all. Not at all. And there are kids, 1/3 his age, that are on the floor. Because once you get Lyme disease, it morphs into different cells that antibiotics can't attack. That's why when you get Lyme, it's a fucking serious thing. It can actually destroy your internal organs one by one. And so Lyme disease is not a joke. But the irony is that Japanese knotweed, also known as resveratrol, will grow and will proliferate an area. That's how intelligent plants are. Will proliferate an area when Lyme disease is going to hit a particular area. You know what I mean? Like a particular sector of the country. It will start growing like mad. And people, our government, will go and hack it and use weed killer. It's like fucking idiots. So one of the things I want to grow on the land is Japanese knotweed. You damn right. Lyme disease is awful. It's totally life-altering. Edgar Case's Encyclopedia of Healing. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Thank you, Andromeda Flame. Andromeda Flame is a very dear, wonderful friend of mine. She also creates wonderful content on the chakra systems in depth. So you may want to follow her and check it out. Yeah, Lyme disease is an actual danger now too. Yes, it is. It's no joke. So you can do your sprays, but you need a protocol. So Stephen Buhner, you should have that in your library. Stephen Buhner, and he has 2 books, one on antibiotics and one on what's the other? Fuck, I forgot. There's natural antibiotics, which is you guys know that, right? Garlic, which fucking garlic's tough to take for me. I gag. I like start vomiting. But there's another book he has. Just honestly, your library should have like your herbalist books, and then you should have bulk. If you can't grow it and dry it, then buy it bulk and have your apothecary. And the glass jars to use are violet glass. That's more likely going to help with keeping the integrity of your bulk herbs, So you can do tinctures. I did a tincture of Japanese knotweed in potato vodka, and it worked fine. And the reason why I like tinctures is it goes into the tongue, a whole syringe, and just explodes into your bloodstream. I prefer that over taking the tea, the tisane that you would make, because it goes into your stomach. So, but again, do what you got to do. Yes, a Myron Violet glass, exactly. Myron Violet, I forgot the name. Thank you. I'm planning to get 1 liter containers, like a whole pack of their glass for keeping things. Because my dream is always been to have an apothecary, albeit a small one, but still to have one. I get Shilajit from Pure Indian Foods, and it is verified, purified, and cleansed through tradition. I'm taking a screenshot of that. Thank you for sharing that, because I have Shilajit. It's from Symbiotic, but I would like to, Pure Indian Foods. I'll definitely check that out for my next order. Anyway, I've been here for a while. I've got stuff to do. Actually, I have a client. I've got to do a reading at 12 noon. So I will leave you all. Thank you so much for being here. I will upload this video. It's all over the place like usual, but what the hell, Hopefully it's interesting to all of you. Sending you much love on your journey. Namaste. Be well.